Okay, g'day, welcome back to Banksy's Kitchen. Today we're going to make chocolate brownie. So it's gluten free. So we need to measure up our ingredients. What we're going to use butter. You can use margarine, so margarine is probably better. Dark chocolate, cocoa, self-raising flour, sugar, and that's about it. So we'll weigh up the chocolate. We need to have 125 grams of dark chocolate. So got our scales on. Tear that back to 0. Tear. Yep. This block's 200, so you can probably just roughly calculate it. 126. That'll do. So that goes in a bucket or bowl. We need butter, and we need 65 grams of butter. So I'll just put that on there, tear that back to 0. 65, 49. 67, that'll do. Goes in the microwave and we melt it. Takes about a minute. While that's happening, we get the other ingredients going. So, put on there, tie it back to 0. We need sugar. And we need 180 grams of sugar. So I've got caster sugar here. And I don't have enough, which doesn't matter. I've just broken the glass. Because you just top up with just any sugar. It's just got to dissolve, that's all. So 180 grams into there. Then we put our flour, self-raising flour, which is 80 grams. Near enough. And cocoa, 3 tablespoons. So a heaped dessert spoon is a tablespoon. So 2, 3 of those. We need eggs in this recipe too. So I'll just sift that through, because when we sift it, it just makes the flour and cocoa mix together. So it's just not chunks of cocoa. Alright, so that's done. Next, couple of eggs. I'm just going to move that glass. Don't want to cut myself. So the show must go on. A couple of eggs. So we get our chocolate and our butter, which hasn't quite melted, so I'll give it another 30 seconds. Okay, that's ready. So now you don't want this boiling hot, because if it's really hot, the eggs will cook. So we just, I don't know if you can see that in there, just mixing that up. Then we drop our eggs in. 1, 2, give that a mix up. Now this mix can be quite stiff, so you may add a little bit of water down the track. So this goes in here. This is such a simple recipe. Pour the spoon, mix it up. So we're going to drop a little bit of water because it's really hard to spread in the pan otherwise. The only problem with adding water is it activates the raising agent, so it will rise a little. But that's pretty good. Just maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. Just makes it easier to get into the tray for baking. The oven's on 175 and that's already been preset, so obviously turn your oven on before you start because this preparation takes 5 minutes. Right, that's mixed up nicely. So we get our tray, we put some spray oil in it. I use olive oil, I don't use canola for anything. Pop that paper in there. Give that a spray as well. And pop this in there. Now, if it's hard to spread, you can spray your hands with the oil and then just spread it out with your hands. But this looks like it's going to be okay. Right, so that's all done. Spread that around a little. Tap it down so the air bubbles pop out. Into the oven, and it should be ready in about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll get back to when it's done. Alright, so the brownie's cooked. You can see it's got that sort of sugary crust on top. And you can check, you just put a knife in there, but that's cooked, it's not sticking. And we don't take it out until it cools down, because if you do, it'll break. So we just let that cool down in the tray, then we put a rack on top, flip it over, take the paper off, and then once it's cold, you can cut it into portions. And we'll do that once we get this chocolate dream all put together.